Greetings everyone, I'm Kevin, and today I'm going to go through my very late July TBR. I had planned to make this video several weeks ago, but life happened at the end of June, and then the first week of July is Pride Week. And so it is currently in the middle of Pride Week, so that's why this video is very late, unfortunately. But before I'm going to go into the books I'm reading for July, I'm going to go through how I did for YaTBRC in June. And I started off the game. Before I even played the game, I had a punishment prompt for a DNF, and I chose the Gauntlet, and I did not read this, unfortunately. Then the first prompt of the game was number 7, and I got Blackbird, and I did finish this one. The third prompt that I got was Swedish Classic, and I chose Dr. Glass. I borrowed this from the library, and then I loved it so much that I decided to buy it. So this is my own bought copy. I really enjoyed it. So yes, I finished that book. So that is 2 out of 3 so far. The next prompt was number 16, and I got A Complicated Love Story in Space, and I loved this book. It was amazing. So we are 3 out of 4 so far. The next prompt that I got was a recent DNF, and I chose Along for the Ride, and I can count this because I say that I can count if I read 50% of a book, I can count it, and I have read 50% after where I left off. So when I DNF'd it, I had read 50%, and then I DNF'd it, and I have now read 50% of the second half. So I have read 25% of the book, but 50% of the part that was left where I ended up, if that makes sense. Yeah, but I do count it. I still count it as a DNF. I don't want to continue this book. So it is still considered a DNF. And the last book, the last prompt was over 500 pages. And I chose the Pirate's Wish, which, the Pirate's Wish or the Pirate's Wish. I had written the Pirate's Curse, but it's the Assassin's Curse and then the Pirate's Wish, and not the Pirate's Curse. So the Pirate's Wish, I read very far into it. I read like 150 pages or something like that. Like 40% I think I read. I really enjoyed this. I am going to continue this. I just didn't manage to do that in June. But when my reading plans for July are over, I'm going to continue this book. That is the plan, because I do really enjoy this. And if you enjoy pirate stories, I would recommend this. The first book in the bind-up, I did really enjoy. And I actually love The Pirate's Wish so much more than the first one. I really love The Pirate's Wish as far as I've read, because there is an introduction to a new character, and I love that character. She is amazing. So I am not counting this as read or like 50% read, but I do really enjoy it, and I am planning to continue this when I'm finished reading everything that I have to read for July. Yeah, a lot of words, but yes, that is basically the plan. And I also read this book for Australia, and I did not enjoy it. That was for my Globetrotter reading challenge. And the TBR for July is going to be a little bit different from the previous months, because as we have done 6 months of the year, July is free. I don't have a YaTBRC TBR for July. Instead, I have a set TBR that is kind of like a vlog TBR. So I have some books that I'm going to read for a vlog that I have started because it is the middle of the first week of July. And this is my July vlog, kind of reading vlog for a very, like, a theme. And the theme is vampire books. So in July I'm going to read vampire books, but it's very interesting because I never really read vampire books. But the book that I'm going to read, I'm just going to, like right now, I'm just going to go through the books. I'm not going to go through the order or anything. I'm just going to like tell you what books I'm going to read in July, and the specifics and the reason and all of that will be in my July reading vlog for the vampire books. I'm just going to go through what books I'm reading, so that if you're interested in any of these books, you can just check out that video, basically. So, because I wanted to have a classic on the list, a classic vampire book, the one that was recommended most often was, of course, Dracula. But then I found out that Carmilla was technically created before Dracula. And this is also queer. So this is the first book that I'm going to read. And then I am also going to read A Dowry of Blood, because this was also recommended. I left, like, I made a post on Twitter where I asked for vampire recommendations. And I put all of those on a list, and then I did my own research, and then I added all of that up and saw what I wanted to have, kind of like a diverse set of books, different genres, different settings and stuff like that. And this was recommended, so this is another book. I think this is kind of like a thriller horror kind of thing. Then we have one that I'm excited to read after I watched a vlog by Charlotte from Clumsy Charlotte, who read Fangs and loved it. So this is another book that I'm going to read. Then I have one that is kind of like a satirical book, which is called An Unattractive Vampire. And I've heard that this is going to be pretty hilarious and fun to read, so I'm really looking forward to this as well. And the next book is a fantasy book, and this one I think is absolutely gorgeous. And it's this one. It's called The Serpent, the Wings of Night. The Serpent, the Wings of Night. The Serpent and the Wings of Night, sorry. So I think this cover is absolutely stunning. And this is a fantasy, and it involves vampires in some way. Some of these I have just like, ooh, this looks interesting. This also says on the back, human or vampire, the rules of survival are the same. Never trust, never yield, and always, always guard your heart. So this, and like also the next sentence is, the adopted human daughter of the night-born vampire king. Just that sounds very interesting to me. So this is that book. And then the last book that I'm going to read is also the book that I'm reading for the Globetrotter Reading Challenge. And in July, we're going to visit East Asia. And I chose this book for both Vampire and East Asia. So this is The Art of Prophecy by Wesley Chu. I am reading this, I think, for Japan. Yes, Japan. So I'm reading this for Japan for the Globetrotter Reading Challenge. And this is another epic fantasy vampire story that I'm reading for my vampire reading vlog. So that vlog is going to be focusing on reading vampire books, and it's also going to be like me going around town. I'm on my vacation. There's a summer break in school, so I'm going to go in a little some places, road trips. I'm going to have that whole like vampire theme going on. And if any of that sounds interesting to you, like, subscribe, look up for that reading vlog that will probably come up at the end of July or early August, depending on how quickly I read the books. But I'm really excited, honestly. I don't really read a lot of vampire books. I've never considered myself someone who enjoys vampire stories. So this was something that I felt like, ooh, this would be a lot of fun. The main reason why I decided to do a vampire reading vlog is because one of my favorite TV shows is What We Do in the Shadows. It's a vampire satirical mockumentary, and the next season will be dropped, or the first episode of the next season will be dropped in July, in the middle of July, on July 14th, and then there will be one episode per week until all 10 episodes are released. So I thought, hey, it's coming out in July, let's read vampire books in July. So that is the plan. Yeah. Thank you so much for watching. If you have read any of these books, you want to recommend more vampire books, please comment down below and let me know. And I will see you next time. Good reading. Bye.